Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome to Take the Points.
A true underdog podcast?
Is it? Oh!
I don't know. I say it now because it's been so long. I forget we have to reestablish our identity.
We kind of do, man. Yeah, it's been December 5th was the last time we did this. It's January 26th, and I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I don't want to make excuses, but there's a lot of reasons. Everything from the holidays to work stuff, big family things for all of us. So we got the clearance to share. Robbie had a baby, and that is occupied a lot of his time. Rightfully so. Holidays, man, it was just time flies when you're having fun. Absolutely, it does. And, I mean, I know you had, your family had a run-in with the flu. My family had a big run-in with the flu. It was terrible.
Brutal. Puke everywhere.
So, yeah,
sucks.
Same.
Yeah,
same.
Sucks.
All over the couch.
The walls.
Yeah.
Brutal.
So
if you're eating while you listen to this, good luck.
Don't think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of excuses, but also a lot of life and trueness. And then there's another piece of it, too, which is just, I think, the depression from the Lions' horrible end to the season that made it hard to be motivated to want to jump on and talk about it. It's like, man, we had some commiseration sessions when we could see the season trending downward. But, man, just some of those couple losses at the end of the year, I don't even want to talk about. I was so over it. It's like, I'm done with this team is how I felt. What I know it was super late news now, but take us through the end of the season, and maybe if you had a final takeaway on the season for them.
The final takeaway, man, is we just weren't good enough. It was tough to watch, and I don't think you look at who's in the Super Bowl, New England and Seattle. It's like no one really impressed this year, to me, in my opinion. And we certainly didn't, and it was probably a great opportunity for us to impress. And we dropped the ball, and it sucks. The only silver lining is beating Ben Johnson again at the end of the year. That
was kind of sick. It did give people were all up in arms that, we lost draft position for that, and, like, why did we do that? I mean, I don't really care. I'm not one to say, like, oh, it was good, team bonding or like building up their confidence. It doesn't. I mean, that part doesn't matter because now it's gonna be a new team. We got a new coordinator coming in. We're gonna have a lot of new guys. So that part doesn't really matter. But it did feel good to beat Ben Johnson.
It sure did.
And I did kind of like almost root against them in the playoffs like I root against Michigan. I don't know. I have a weird thing against the Bears now. Yeah.
Of course you did.
I never did in the past, though.
Oh, don't shy from it. Yeah. Like, you know what? I've never understood like the people like, oh, root for the Big Ten. Like, that's what I feel like. You don't have to do that. Just like you don't root for the NFC North.
No.
You don't. It's ridiculous, right?
No, yeah, absolutely.
So, like the Packers-Bears playoff game, I wanted just to end in a tie. I wanted to say, you know what? You guys have been playing too long. You guys are going to die if you play any longer. We're just going to not advance either of you, and there's going to be another bye week. Like, that would have been the best scenario for me.
I completely agree. Yeah. But my takeaway is we had too high expectations given what we knew about the team. 2 new coordinators, so starting there. Yep. I mean, leadership is a huge part of the team. Obviously, we still had Dan Campbell, but when he stepped into play calling, I mean, we got Dan Campbell operating in a different role, and 2 other guys who weren't there the previous year. So that's a lot of change right there. And then you talk about the players. I mean, we didn't do anything for our offensive line, and it got worse throughout the year with injuries. Yeah. We added nothing on defense. Like, there wasn't we had a crazy hard schedule. There wasn't
injuries
a lot of
again, man. The injury bug.
Yes, I mean, especially on the defensive side with Brian Branch, with Kirby Joseph, like those were huge losses.
Yeah.
So we couldn't have expected them to go very far this year, given all that, honestly.
Yeah, it got it got more bleak as the season went on, and to see that offensive line kind of fall apart on the second half of the season. That's when it was like, oh man, we're not. It ain't like it used to be, because at least you could bully people up front, right, and just pound the rock, and we just couldn't do that in the second half of the year. And then, then you couldn't protect Jared Goff, and then, like, Monrad's dropping balls, and it's like everything just kind of domino affected into the result in which, we've all come to terms with it by now, but, here we are 2 weeks from the Super Bowl, and again, the Lions aren't in that conversation, which is a bummer.
And Sam Darnold is, which is wild. But I mean, it just goes to show what that tells me right there is that I had a moment, and I think I texted you of like, is Goff done? Like, are we done with Goff?
No.
Do we need to move on? But now seeing Sam Darnold, if you have a good enough team, if you put the support around them, like I would say, Jared Goff is miles better than Sam Darnold in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
and
I think. Yeah.
If he's in the Super Bowl, we can be there. You just got to put the right players around him, and I think that now we're trending in a better direction. Having brought in Drew Petzing as our new offensive coordinator,
Yeah, I like that move.
And what it tells me is because he's a run game guy.
Ben Johnson's good buddy, by the way, I love the troll job there too.
I kind of love that too, but like with him being. Even though, the Cardinals didn't exactly have a great season this past season, and that's where he's coming from. But they had a ton of injuries. I mean, obviously, Kyler Murray is out, but also not very good anyways. But before, like the season before, if you hadn't known, they had a great running offense.
They did.
I think they were number 2 or something. It was like top.
Yep.
It was definitely top 5 offensive rushing, and without having a crazy amount of talent on the squad, so potentially could bring some of that to us. It makes me think we're going to focus on the line.
Have to.
So I think some positives already so far in the offseason for us.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like it's at least telling that we're going to go back in that direction and double down on what our strength always was, which is the offensive line, moving the ball, protecting Jared Goff. Now we get into, I don't know how much time we want to spend on Lions off season, but it's Lions off season, and all we have now is the draft and free agency. I would say the Lions need to invest in the offensive line, the defensive line. This Kirby Joseph situation, I think, has to be figured out.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know if he's coming back. Brian Branch is dead for the year. You're going to need a lot more pieces. And I think I don't know if you've seen this or heard some of these takes, but you can essentially restructure a lot of guys on this roster and make about $80 million in cap space. Part of that move, too, is cutting Taylor Decker, which I would support.
It's an obvious
at this
move.
point.
Yeah,
it's an obvious move. Right? You have to do it, and then I think just rebuild the offensive line, get some studs in here on free agency, and just commit to the fact that you got about a 4-year window where Hutch, Amon-Ra, Sewell, Goff, Gibbs, you can even franchise tag, keep him here for 3 of the 4 years, Laporta, same deal, Jack Campbell, all these guys are going to be around. Make a run. And then if it doesn't work in 4 years, figure it out then.
You got a solid core. I mean, yeah, tons of flexibility, especially if we were to cut Decker. I think that's $18 million that we save. I think we got to do that by June. And yeah, that gives us some options to bring in a new center. Gives them a lot more flexibility. So I'm hopeful, especially given that we get to play a last place schedule next year. So it should position us pretty well to be able to like Chicago did this year.
In New England Patriots.
Yeah, and the Patriots did that, and now they're in the Super Bowl. And obviously, they're not there just because they played a last place schedule. They're there because they're a great team and they have a really good quarterback. Drake May is special, but yeah, it just shows you can turn it around quickly.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how bad was their actual schedule. Was it terrible? I guess I don't know. I mean, they're in the AFC East. They play the Jets twice. Yeah, I mean, man, if we could replicate some of that success just off of a down year in the schedule as well, protect Jared Goff, and I mean the skill position guys are all there, which is great. I think we got to get more pressure up front, and I maybe this is a hot take here, but I don't think we necessarily need that like bookend for Aiden Hutchinson. I think we need more pressure from the center of that defensive line, right up the middle where Aleem McNeil just didn't do it.
Yeah, why? Well, what happened? Because Aleem McNeil was dominant. I mean, we still have Aleem, right?
Yeah, he's come off that injury, that torn ACL. Who knows if he's going to be the same? Yeah. You know who our best. I looked at this the other day, and I don't know if this or the other week. It was the other day in podcasting life because the last time we were on. The highest rated on PFF interior defensive lineman we had. Dude, can you guess who it was? You'll never guess.
No, who was it?
Roy Lopez.
Oh yeah, Roy Lopez was a huge addition to the team. I mean, he was. I should have known that actually.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I always get him confused with George Lopez, who is always on CBS in some new version of his life as a sitcom. But and I will say, just like one thing that I thought was an interesting stat I looked at too in all of this off time we've had since our last pod, Wilson. I looked at like these random things. Do you know how many teams in the league had 2 edge rushers with over 10 sacks?
How many teams in the league had two or more edge rushers with over 10 sacks?
Yes.
I would say 8.
8?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, now I'm second guessing my own stats, but I thought it was 1. Thought it was 1
No,
team.
you could be right. That could be right.
I believe that team was us.
Wait.
The Detroit Lions.
Hold on, this can't be true.
Yep.
There's only one. We were the only team who had 2 edge rushers with 10 sacks.
Maybe I rephrase. Yeah.
Wow.
I think so.
That's really surprising to me, actually.
Yep.
You don't find that really?
We're one of 2. The Saints.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, another not great team. So it looks like only bad teams have 2 edge rushers with.
It was
10 or more
no.
sacks.
You know what it was? It was. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you do it live for the first time in a month and a half. It was 2 of the top 10 sack leaders. 2 of the top 10 sack leaders in the league. It was us, but Al-Qadim Muhammad dropped to number 11.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so we had 2 top 10 of the top 10 sack
That
leaders.
makes more sense to me.
And it was only us. And that's telling because of how bad we were on defense, which means that there just wasn't a lot of Al-Qadim Muhammad was a great pass rusher, but he was only in on obvious passing situations, and we couldn't stop the run.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I mean, overall, there's a lot to be desired there across the whole defensive line, and so I think they're going to address it this year, whereas last year they did not. They ran with the idea of we know what's best, we have what we need. They can't do that again this year. Brad Holmes knows that.
Yes.
Dan knows that. They're not going to do that again. So even just that makes me feel better about next year. I'm going to call it now. We're back in the playoffs next year.
I think so.
And if you're in, you got a chance. So things are looking up, in my opinion.
I agree. I think there's a lot we can do, a lot of things we can upgrade. There's some good free agents out there, and if we restructure these deals to have that flexibility to go after some of these guys, we can do it. It's just, is Brad Holmes going to take that approach, or is he going to be like he was last year, where he's a little more conservative?
It's just not possible. I mean, this year, he's got to know that. You just can't do that now. You just can't make excuses saying, look, my job's hard, and I'm working really hard, and there just wasn't anybody available. No, that's not it. You can't say that anymore. Hopefully he's been given that by the Fords, that you can't just keep saying that. Like, it's time to do something.
It is. It's time to shit or get off the pot, in my opinion.
So that's our sad but then also optimistic recap on the Lions. And I'm sure we'll talk about them more as the offseason actually happens and we start making some moves.
Yeah, I thought I would have more juice to talk about the Lions offseason, but after watching Sam Darnold go to the Super Bowl last night, I just kind of don't want to.
Yeah. I mean,
totally.
What I mean? Absolutely. It just it feels like it's too it was too much within our grasp, maybe not this year, but the year before. Like we could, I don't want to go down memory lane.
Every year.
But it could have been. Could have been.
I felt like it was been in our grasp the last 3 seasons, and like to see who got there, I think you're just kind of like, oh, really?
Yeah,
like, for real.
I think we were a better team, but let's talk about a team that isn't letting us down, and that would be the Detroit Pistons. Because oh man, is this a team? They are. What are we right now? I know we have 11 losses, but what, 33-11, I think we are.
I think so, yeah.
That's insane. 33-11. That's kind of ridiculous. I was not expecting this season at all. And we I think we talked about it in November, but now, I mean, this is a couple months down the line since we last really dove into the Pistons. They got off to a hot start, and everybody was really unsure of whether or not they were real. And nobody's really questioning that now. All of the analysts have them ranked, in the power rankings. They're a top team. They're number 2 right now in the NBA power rankings. They have the second best record in the league. I think they have a 6-game lead over the Celtics.
It's 7.5 in our division for sure.
Yeah,
I mean they're rolling, man, and it feels good to roll. It feels fucking good to roll like this, especially a team that was 2-28, not long ago. Under Monty
Williams. Yeah, that was a terrible year. But it is another sign of how quickly things can turn around.
Yeah, and I think too, do we have the best owner in our city as Tom Goris? And I know the first time I potted with you guys, we joked about him rolling out of a tanning bed with his cock in a sock, but this guy, he got removed down from Monty Williams. He's largely seems like he's stayed out of Trajan Langdon's way. He
brought Trajan Langdon in the first place.
Right. Brought him in, letting him do work, and you have Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham's the X factor. One thing I thought, I don't know, you probably did see this, but did you see that amongst the All-Star voting, that for players who vote for other players, Cade Cunningham got the most votes in the league from his peers.
Yeah, which I
more than Giannis.
I'm not surprised about it all, and that's I think partially because people I can imagine other players having a lot of respect for Cade because he wins and he doesn't do it in a way that's flashy or arrogant or where he's talking too much smack, trying to dominate players mentally. He does it with his game. He does it. He just the proof is in the pudding for him.
He's smooth.
He's a smooth operator, man. So that's I think why, as another player, you could have a lot of respect for him because he's just doing it really in a really classy way.
Yeah, and it's funny because he really is. I think this brings us into the other big part of this Pistons season is the trade deadline, which is when is the trade deadline? It's not far. It's a couple weeks away, right?
It is. I think we're looking at NBA trade.
It's 10 days away, right?
Yeah, something like that.
November 4th. Okay, yeah, so we got a week.
February 5th.
Oh, February 4th. Oh, that was NFL. I'm an idiot. See how hard it is to pod live?
Yeah, that's in literally 9 days from now.
Yeah. So interesting.
Lot of options for the Pistons, man. I'm hesitant here though because it's always tough to be let's take this team that is playing the best basketball that the city's seen in 20 years and change it up. You never know what can happen to the chemistry, into the locker room, to the dynamic on the court. What do you want them to do?
Man, you know what? It's funny because I'm with you. I don't want to disrupt the chemistry, but also I look at the Pistons and I see a glaring need, and they need a secondary bucket getter next to Cade, right? And the problem that I have with the way this team is constructed right now is Tobias. You got good guys like Tobias, Duncan Robinson, Jalen Duren's having a great year, but Tobias and Robinson are inconsistent. So there's never that Cade's never had that dependable like okay, I'm having an off night, let's get this guy's going. Right. Or I know I can count on this guy for 20 a night or 18 a night.
He's not had that, yeah.
And if you give him that, I think this team can really catapult to like contender year in, year out. But it has to be the right fit, and I think it has to be someone that also has like some defensive juice in their game too.
Now, I completely agree, but I'm going to play the devil's advocate here and say, first of all, I'm never against bringing in another great scorer, another, a big number two that you can count on, like, of course. But the devil's advocate side is, even though Cade hasn't had that one guy that it's like, okay, we need this guy to come in and get 20, the sum of the parts on the Pistons, because they have so much depth, has provided that in the sense that every single night you got another guy out there scoring 20. And when Cade's had games where he's not been on offensively, somebody steps up, whether it be Tobias Harris the other night scoring 26, or Jalen Duren having a 20-plus point, 15-rebound game, or Danis Jenkins coming off the bench scoring 20. Literally, Duncan Robinson hits 5 threes, and there's just so many guys. Like, even Jaden Ivey can come in. He's playing 18 minutes, and he'll score 16 points like he did the other day. Had one of his best games of the year. And it's like that when you have that kind of thing going on, like the going to work Pistons had, where there was just a ton of depth.
Yeah.
Do you need that second big name? I don't know. Is it worth getting rid of Tobias Harris, who's having a great year, and then also is that expiring contract for us to use? Everybody's talking about, we'll trade him because he's an expiring contract. Okay, that gives us a lot of flexibility then in the offseason if he's an expiring contract for us, and he's a huge part of the team right now. Do you want to get rid of Tobias Harris, his productivity, and also Jaden Ivey and first-round picks, and people have thrown in Ron Holland in trade talks. These are critical parts of the team right now, and it's got me questioning how big of a move I want them to make.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do. I mean, I feel like it's got to be the right fit. Michael Porter Jr. is a name. I think I've even mentioned it in the past where, he's a bucket, but is he the best fit for us here? In a team that's very tough defensively? I don't know. I don't think he is. So, I think we're going to make a more of a marginal move, unless, of course, somehow we can pry Giannis, right, or Jaren Jackson Jr., who now seems to be, at least in discussions with Memphis and how bad of a year they're having and how they're looking to rebuild. So, you could take those big swings, I think, and it has to be the right one. But for the most part, I think, it's probably going to be a smaller, more complementary move. And I don't know, free agency next year could be the play too, where we use Tobias's money and then sign and then extend Duren and Asar Thompson and just rock from there. So we'll see. It's is there any names in mind that you have highlighted?
For me, I have both Michael Porter Jr. and Jaren Jackson Jr., obviously the big ones being talked about, are great. They're great players. Michael Porter is a great shooter. He's not a great defender, but we already have a lot of defense going on. I just wonder, what do you got to give up? You're definitely giving up Tobias. You're definitely giving up probably Jaden Ivey or Ron Holland. You're giving up a first-round pick. I don't know that he's worth it that much, to me, honestly. That seems like too much for a guy like Michael Porter Jr. On this team. I don't know that he makes a difference in us contending this year. I don't think he's going to add enough for us to contend. So I don't want to give up draft capital and young talent for that. And then for Jaren Jackson Jr., I think he actually makes a bigger difference for us to contend.
I think so too.
His outside shooting is not great. He's a threat. You gotta watch him, but he's not. It's not great. He's an amazing defender, which we already have. So it's just doubling down on.
Yeah,
we already have the first.
Which
or
I
second.
feel like that would be great.
I think so, but at the same time, it's like if it's not broke, do you need to really fix it? Like we
Fair.
have the first or second best defense in the league already. Do you need to add a big who can shoot like just kind of outside?
Right.
Who's more of like he's an offensive threat, but he's a great defensive player. I don't know that necessarily is what we go for. Like obviously, the best thing for us to get would be like a Lauri Markkanen, he's not a defensive liability. He's an all-around scorer. He can shoot. He's a great player. He's an all-star, former all-star. Like that is going to take quite a bit, I think, to get him.
Oh, for sure.
But is the one that I could see being worth it if he's available. And if you're going to give up Tobias, he improves Tobias. He improves you on that position. And then I'd give up like a Jaden Ivey, a couple first-round picks as well.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to give up a lot, and I think anyone's going to want Asar Thompson in a trade too, which that's where it gets a little tough for me. Although Asar Thompson as a scorer has largely proven to not be a thing, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to be an offensive presence, but on the defensive side of things, man, you got to shut down guard.
Exactly, which is pivotal.
It really is, and you saw it in the Knicks series last year, and we're just going to be better this year. So, I don't know, man. It's funny as we're potting. I feel I look up Detroit Pistons rumors, and Fansided has a case for us to trade for Norman Powell, which is a name I never thought of, but
yeah,
expiring contract, 32. He's doing pretty well this year. He's averaging 23.
He's having a big year. I mean,
yeah, he's having a really big year.
It's his best year. He came from the Clippers. He's on the Heat now, and he's shooting the lights out. That's the kind of thing we need. Is that type of shooting would be incredible to add, and it's you could call it a move in the margins where it's not a big flashy name. It's not something that's going to totally change your roster. I like that more. We don't need a move like that would make me feel better. We wouldn't have to give up, multiple first-round picks and Tobias and Jaden Ivey or Asar Thompson. Like, you're going to have to give up a couple things because he's a great player. But, I think you can keep your core more stable and just add shooting. I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right, cool. Problem solved, right?
Like, that would be...
that would be a good one.
And that would be a good one. People also talk about Trey Murphy, and he's obviously
that's a dream too. I think
it's a dream. I mean, you're also talking about like giving up a lot, but is he worth it? He's a scorer, man. He can shoot the ball like crazy. So
and he can defend too. Like it's a. Would you give up Asar in a deal for Trey Murphy?
Yes. I mean, yes,
I would
because
too.
then you're moving Ron Holland more into Asar's current role.
Yes.
Like Ron's going to get some more minutes. like you said, Trey Murphy can play defense, and he's not as big as Asar. He's not as athletic, but he's a 10, 15 times better shooter. So maybe I'd do that one.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Asar, Tobias, and we'd probably have to give two first-round picks.
Yeah.
I'd maybe do that.
Yeah. Tough moving on from Tobias, too, in certain instances.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean...
he's good role player here.
Great energy. Kind of cool that he was on the team 10 years ago. Yeah, he's the Unk.
Yeah, I like calling him Unk.
The Unk who's like 8 years younger than you and 4 years younger than me or something.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Old in the league, though, man.
Yeah.
I would be, no spring chicken. Yeah, so that's, but it's a fun team to watch, man. And, I mean, Cade's taken his game to a different level. He's cut down way more on the turnovers this year. Jalen Duren is really coming into his own and becoming that, both a defensive and offensive presence. Isaiah Stewart, like another, just everybody's kind of like fitting into their role perfectly right now. So it's exciting to see. I think we can make a pretty solid run in the playoffs as is. But yeah, a player around the margins, I think, would make us better, especially dealing from what we have, which is depth.
Absolutely. I think as long as the Pistons stay healthy, don't make any really bad moves, add a little bit, they should have a chance to contend. I'm not even kidding you when I say I think if we make a small move that adds some shooting, we could give OKC a run in the finals.
Oh, I think so too.
If we were to make it there, we absolutely can do that. I think they've got a big enough body of work. They've beaten really good teams this year to prove it. Now, this next stretch of the schedule is going to be a huge test because they have almost no easy games coming up here. I don't know if you've taken a look at it. But
I haven't.
It's kind of brutal coming up. We play the Nuggets, and then I know we got the Spurs a couple times in there.
Always tough.
That's going to be tough. We got the Cavs in there. I know that they have disappointed the first half of the year, but they're still going to probably finish out in the top 3 or 4 in the East and contend to win the East in the playoffs. So there's a lot of tough games coming up, and we're going to learn a lot about them and what they can do against the best teams in this next stretch.
Yeah, I agree, especially when you're coming in, now you're coming into these games this year with a target on your back as the top team in the East.
Yep.
Right? Every arena that you play in, that team's going to want to make a statement against you now. So, yeah, you're right, man. It's going to get tougher from here on out. Would be great to lock up that 1 seed, too, by the end of the year and just, have a good, home court advantage throughout the playoffs.
Yes.
Would really be something special, but yeah, it's a fun ride, man, and it's kind of I look at this team and how they're built and what they have in assets in terms of all their draft picks. This is a really good scenario to be in as a Pistons fan, where the future is the brightest it's been in really since 03,
Yeah, would you say they're our team that has the biggest chance to win a championship in next?
I do, and I think largely because of their star power with Cade, and how much the league how important that is in the league. I think they certainly could be. And we look at the rest of the teams. The Lions are probably number 2. The Wings are having another great year. That's where I think we miss Robbie the most is getting into his Wings talk. I tend to lean out of the Wings until later in the year.
Same.
And then, of course, the Tigers are just ass. There's just an embarrassment of an organization.
Well, let's transition there then, and tell me what you've been feeling, because I know you got some thoughts on Scooball and what the Tigers have been doing and just their whole situation.
Oh, it's an embarrassment right now. The Tigers are absolutely embarrassing, Wilson. And so when Robbie and I were on here last, we were talking about the winter meetings, and I think I predicted a big trade and a signing. Yeah. Right? Now, unless you call Mark Dickel or whoever the fuck they got from the Pyongyang Piranhas, these KBO baseball leagues that they keep plucking guys from on minor league deals, Kenley Jansen would be a great signing in 2019. The only thing they really did was they extended the qualifying offer to Gleyber Torres, which I believe they had every intention of him rejecting.
Well, it's because everybody rejects those.
Because everybody rejects it. But it's $23 million a year for Gleyber Torres a year before there's probably not going to be a season in a lockout. So he's taking the guaranteed money because he didn't get offered a longer-term deal.
It's kind of great. Perfect for him, yeah.
Perfect for him. A complete fumble by Scott Harris. I've spent a lot of time defending Scott Harris, and I'm done with it, to be honest with you. This offseason has been an utter failure. The fact that they came in on arbitration with Scooball at $19 million, which is $5 million more than you paid the dead body of Alex Cobb.
Yeah, right. Oh,
You're telling me the 2-time Cy Young winner is worth Alex Cobb plus $5 million?
Man, that's
get out of town.
When you put it that way, that is really embarrassing. Yeah,
it's bullshit. It's tough, especially when And my thing is too, dude, like you look at where this team was in Game 5 of the ALDS in that 15-inning awesome game against Seattle. We didn't lose that game because of pitching. We lost that game because you couldn't score with runners in scoring position, right? And what do? You don't add a bat.
Yeah.
You don't add a bat. In fact, I think you probably make our team worse by bringing back Gleyber Torres and forcing Colt Keith to play his worst position in third base.
Yep.
And now you're just banking on these guys getting better, and they're just, okay, do you think Parker Meadows, Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green, and Colt Keith will all get better next year? Probably not all of them.
No, but if one of them does, and I mean they could still make moves, right? They could still make a move or two,
I guess.
It's possible. Like Tarik Skubal very well could be traded here.
He has to be.
He's probably going to be, and they could bring in some bats, like because our division is basically full of teams that are just throwing the white flag, like literally not trying, not paying anybody. Like I think the Guardians the lowest or top or bottom two salary in the MLB. Like obviously the White Sox don't really try. Like the Twins barely try.
Yeah.
Like can we just win our division? And is that their thought? Like we could have a chance as long as we're in, and like they just feel like we got enough to win the division.
The problem I see, Wilson, is that they don't commit to anything, right? They don't commit to either of those mentalities. When you look at what the Guardians do, yeah, they're cheap. They're notoriously cheap. But you know what they do? When they have good-ass players and they're about 2 years away from free agency, they trade them. And they get their next wave of good-ass players to come in. And that's why the Guardians have been to the playoffs more times than the Tigers have.
Yep.
Right? They've been to World Series. Like, they've done it all. Right? And the Tigers haven't, because we're not married to that mentality, but we're also not going to add via free agency to fill holes. Right? So you just kind of stay in this like stage of limbo. And some of these reports of what Scott Harris asked for in Tarik Skubal trades is just ridiculous. Like, it's just an out of touch approach with reality. And we're probably going to go into. I would not be surprised if we go into this year, miss the playoffs, don't trade Skubal, or trade him at the trade debt. Or I would be surprised if we didn't trade him at all. Let him walk, and then we don't have a 2027 season next year because of lockout.
But it seemed I could definitely see
Which
that.
Which isn't Scott Harris's fault, but
sure,
also just sucks.
But if we trade him now, are we even going to get close to getting enough back? Like, my thought is, like, if his value is $32 million, which maybe it is, maybe that's a little high. But let's say you pay a few extra million more. Like, are we going to get enough back to outweigh not having Skubal this year? Like, I know that now the mindset is, well, he's going to be moved. He has to be moved. The Tigers are going to lose the $13 million that they were off in the arbitration. But if we're not getting anything really back that's worthwhile, like, why would we do that? Well,
first of all, I think Tarik Skubal can probably come up and say, you guys are like, this sucks being here. This is an it's offensive to offer me $5 million more than you offered this dead 40-year-old,
which is true.
Who didn't pitch? You paid him $50 million to rehab all year.
He didn't pitch once, did he?
Didn't pitch a single pitch for us, right? So and as the 2-time Cy Young winner, I would go and say, listen, you're going to have to move me, figure it out. And I think he's well within his right to do that. And you're not going to get like the Juan Soto trade where you get 4 of a team's top 5 prospects, but you can probably get a young starter. Think of someone like a Reese Olson from another team, someone who's like that number 2, number 3 starter with about 4 years left of, team control, and one of the team's top 5 prospects. I'd be great with that.
I mean, that sounds like a lot, yeah.
And for a team to give up for a year of Tarik Skubal, the best pitcher in the league, hell yeah. the team should do that.
Now,
so,
that would be what we would do if we think we have no chance to win it this year. Like, if they think that we might win it, we could go to the World Series this year. Don't you keep Scooble?
right, but yeah, that's tough. That's like saying I could win the lottery tonight.
So okay, so
you know
that's
what I mean?
so, so then your feeling is, and I agree that the Tigers are not really a contender, even with Scooble this upcoming season. Like they're not they're not an actual World Series contender. So it would take a lottery win for them to actually get there. As opposed to if we felt like, hey, they're poised to be there. Like, they're a good enough team. Like, they've been making strides the last couple of years. They could really go. Then we would probably say, like, we got to keep him.
Yeah, it does make more sense if you feel that way, but I just don't. You look at how the back half of last year ended. They sputtered and backed into the playoffs. And maybe the lottery isn't as great of an example, but imagine being at work being like, oh, this is the year I get promoted, but then you just don't do anything different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't work a little harder. You don't take on new responsibilities.
It's a good analogy.
You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of sit there and expect the better results from doing the same shit. I don't think it's going to happen. So, I mean, and again, just the way that this arbitration stuff has gone down. The guy's won 2 Cy Youngs back-to-back. He's without a doubt the best pitcher in the American League, and you lowball him. And you lowball him significantly enough to where his agent says, okay, fuck you, we're not negotiating, we're going to arbitration.
Yeah, and I don't blame them either, because that was just like, I have no. Hopefully they realize now at this point, like, that was a bad move, because I think that they just thought, okay, maybe we'll meet in the middle. So we'll throw out there 19, they'll throw out 28, and we're actually willing to pay him like 23.
25, yeah.
25. Like, maybe that was their mindset, but it just made them look so bad. Yeah. And unfortunately, like, you know, there's not many Scott Boras fans out there, I don't think. But
no.
But man, I think he knows what he's doing a little bit, and I think it kind of worked.
Yes, and you look at exactly, and that's a great point, because you look at Scott Harris and the way he bumbled the Eduardo Rodriguez trade, and the way he's fumbled this, and then bringing back Gleyber Torres on a qualifying offer, which I just don't think that they wanted to bring him back. They wanted him to reject it. It just looks like you're administratively you're just incompetent of doing the job. Now, in his defense, he's developed a really good pipeline of young players. I will not take that away from him, and I'm excited for some of these guys to come up eventually. And I'm not asking him to trade those guys for upgrades, but you got to commit to one thing or the other. You can't live in this world of limbo anymore.
Well, it seems like they did commit to me, honestly. They committed to 28 or whatever it is. Like, they committed to the future by not doing anything while they had this window, and without even saying it. I mean, they kind of did say it. Now, I think it's the absolute wrong move, because it seems like now we don't think that they're even contenders to go to the Super Bowl. Or, I mean, the World Series. Like, we don't even think they're contenders, and they were just right there. Like, they were just there. And not in the World Series, but so close. Like, we were on the precipice, and now it's like we've fallen off a cliff, and we made no moves to help us, and we're losing our Cy Young award-winning pitcher, and let's hope for 2028. You know, that was their plan.
Right.
That was what their plan was.
Yep. Yeah. Right, and because some of the holes in this team are so glaring. Riley Green strikes out 220 times a year. Can't have that. Like, you gotta have more offense around than just like that guy and Spencer Torkelson's 230 average. So I don't know. It's just, dude, it's so frustrating. Talking about the Tigers is so frustrating, because we're a couple weeks from spring training, and I'm usually super pumped about it, because it's kind of signals, right, that spring's around the corner and baseball's coming back. But I'm just not. I'm just pissed off at this team now, and it sucks.
Well, hopefully they will surprise us and make some moves and do something meaningful this year and take some steps. But if they don't, moving on to our last thing, we have something to look forward to.
We do.
For this same time as like spring training, which is college basketball. Because right now we are in an amazing space in the state of Michigan in college basketball, where Michigan is 18-1, Michigan State is 18-2, and I believe they are both top 5 teams in the country, having dynamite years with a lot of studs on both teams. Like, they both could make runs, and we've been in this position before where it's like both teams are really great, but I feel like this is different this year. It's like these are 2 contenders, legit contenders to win the national championship this year, and they play each other on Friday. So
which
that's
is exciting.
Pretty exciting. Yeah.
That game's got juice.
It really does.
The Super Bowl doesn't have juice for me. Nothing. This has juice. This has a lot of, for a regular season game, this got some juice to it, and I like it.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan is a dangerous team who's blown some teams out. They've been waning a little bit because they had a stretch where they were beating teams that were top 25 ranked. Now a couple of them have fallen off since, but beating them by like 30, 40 points. Yeah. And it was looking like could be a runaway favorite, like just an unstoppable team. Now they fell to Wisconsin. They have had some close games since. Like Ohio State was decently close just the other day. So they're definitely like beatable for Michigan State. But I don't feel great about that game as a Michigan State fan because of Michigan's like just size. They are a huge dude. And that's Michigan State's going to have to figure out some different lineups, like to be able to handle Mara and Lendenberg and like even Shetter. Like they've got some size and some shooting. So I don't know. Michigan State's going to have to rely on like McCullough's going to probably have to step up. Kohler and Cooper are going to have really great games. And it's going to be a battle because there's a lot of size on that Michigan team. Mara's 7'3", bro.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just a little taller than me.
That's how do you guard that? I don't know.
Right.
And then Lendenberg is 6'9". Oh man, he's just so powerful too.
You guys are at home. Like you guys got the Breslin, right? And that's a tough place to play, right? You're probably going to get all pissed at us for standing on the wrong spot of the floor or something.
Well, it's not senior night, thankfully.
Right, but you know how you guys get, right? You know how you guys get. You guys get real finicky about certain little things. Which I have really no room to talk because my university's taken no accountability for its third scandal, which is make me feel like I'm trying to cover for my buddy who's been cheating on his girlfriend, but that's a whole different story.
Dude, yeah, it is a whole different story, but it is a really, really bad story. Yeah,
it's not a good look for me as a Michigan fan, and I understand why you all hate us, but yeah, for you, like at the Breslin, that's gonna be a tough game. This game kind of snuck up on me, Wilson. I told you before we started recording, I haven't done a whole lot of college basketball this time of the year for a multitude of different reasons. I tend to just lean in a little later, and this game snuck up on me, and I am pretty geeked about it. Like just in real time, I'm getting more geeked about it.
Good. I'm glad because that'll make it even better for me when Michigan State wins to know that you were excited about it.
Oh.
But like I said, I don't feel. I always want to say that I feel really, really confident in my Spartans to beat the Wolverines, but I'm going to give it. I'm actually going to put the odds on this one really at 50-50, just because, like you said, it's in the Breslin. Michigan's got the definite size advantage, but if like Jeremy Fears Jr. steps up, has a huge game, and Kohler can play good defense and score 20 points. Then I think they could win it. So I'll put it at 50-50.
Gun to your head. Who do you pick? You got to give one team the edge. You don't do a 50-50 cop out.
Oh man, I'm gonna give a slight edge to Michigan. I'm gonna say probably.
Are you?
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's good. They're gonna be Lendenberg and Mara are gonna be really hard to handle.
Okay.
There's some X factors in there, like Johnson Jr., Trey McKinney. Like, I don't know. There's a few guys that if they get hot, they could hurt us. But I'm more worried about just the size and athleticism of Mara and Lenneberg. That I don't know how Michigan State's going to fully handle that.
The size is tough. Like, size is a real problem in college game too.
And then we're going to get in foul trouble. Like, Carson Cooper is going to have 3 fouls in the first half, and we're going to be like, "What do we do?" McCullough's going to be in there. So that's going to be that's why I'll give the slight edge to Michigan.
Okay, yeah, you've already forecasted the demise.
Yeah,
before even.
Well, you know that that's what they're thinking about this week as their game planning is. We got to get them in foul trouble.
Yep. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hot though. It's going to be a hot environment, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm excited about it.
It sure is. And
with all the depression of the Lions and the Tigers, we have the Pistons, the Wings, and our local college hoops teams to keep us ripping.
And there's nothing better than, for me, when it's basketball. That's the exciting thing. As you know, like...
Oh, yeah.
I love when the Tigers are doing good. I love the Lions, but man, we got Pistons and...
Hoops is different.
Hoops. Oh, my gosh. College hoops and Pistons right now is... Yeah, it's giving me good vibes, and I'm pretty excited. I'm glad that we were able to just kind of go across the spectrum and recap and talk through everything.
I'm on the spectrum for sure.
I know you are. You're on many spectrums. Many.
Yeah, many.
This was fantastic, man. And I'm actually really impressed that we just covered like 4 different topics in 50 minutes.
Yeah, not bad. I feel like we'll have to do a post-mortem of this show. It was a little tough getting back into it. A little bit of a grind, but we did it, man. We're back.
I think we crushed it, man. I'm going to give us some props. We're back.
Okay, good. We're back.
We'll love you.
We'll catch you in May.
No, absolutely not. If you listened to this episode, thank you so much for sticking with us and for being patient with us as we just kind of went AWOL on you there.
Navigating life.
But I think things are settling in. So don't expect that again. We will not take it. That was the longest we've gone since this thing has started by a long shot, by probably by a month.
Yep. Worst case scenario, I'll just hop on solo and do pro wrestling because we're in WrestleMania season 2. So
you could have done that.
I know I could have. John Cena's retirement match. I could have done a whole one on. Maybe I still will. We'll see.
Yeah, it was a disappointment.
I'll take an edible and do it.
Sounds good, man. All right, well, please share the show. Come back. Stick with us. We love you. And we'll see you back here very soon on Take the Points.
A true underdog podcast.
I thought you forgot it. All right.
No, it froze up on me right when you did it.
All right. We'll see you.